James, it's a week on. How would you reflect on a winning start?
Yeah, it was a good start. Nothing more than that. There was a lot of emotion in the first half, which I expected from my experience in this league in the first game of the season. Double effect really this year because obviously the crowds were back in and it was a really good occasion for both clubs. I'm really pleased with how we showed resilience in the first half in that first 25 minutes. Credit to the opposition, they were on the front foot. But other than that, that first 25 where they didn't really test Scott, which I was pleased about, we grew into the game strongly and thoroughly deserved the win.
Is it the kind of performance you hope for then as you try and get into your stride early in the first few games? Yeah,
you can't wish for any more. You know, I said after the game that the clean sheet was the most important thing because any successful team at any level in any elite sport, you build from the foundation behind the ball, and we certainly did that in that game. So it bodes well, but nothing more than that. We want to hit a marker after 7 games and then 10 games. We have a marker, a target we want to hit, and that was a good start towards that target.
How does sort of setting those targets after 7 and 10, how does that sort of help the team focus and get you to where you want to be after that stage?
Well, we all need goals in life, and your longer term goals and your medium term goals are achieved through short term daily goals which you want to tick off as you go. Certainly at Aldershot, if you're talking about that game in isolation, we wanted a clean sheet, we ticked that off. We wanted to score, we ticked that off, and we wanted to play entertaining football, which we did in the second half. So I think those things, as I said, bode well for this coming weekend. And this weekend brings its own challenges because obviously we don't want to look too far ahead beyond Wealdstone. That would be disrespectful to our next opponent. They'll bring their own challenges. They played well here last year, so that's a warning for us.
A good start for Kabongo, getting off the mark already in game 1.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it? And it was a good moment for him and for the supporters, and it bodes well for their relationship going forward.
Yeah, it seems like the fans have really taken to him already, haven't they?
They have, but if he keeps scoring the way he's doing in the past, and he's obviously got 1-1 now here, if he can maintain that goal scoring record, then I'm sure he'll be a hero here.
In terms of the team for this weekend, are there any injury updates or any fresh doubts for this one?
No, exactly the same. We go in with the same selection criteria, if you like. We can select from everybody that we knew we would be able to. Alex Whittle's another week ahead, so is George Carline, so they're pushing now, and we're looking good.
With 2 games in quick succession here, do you have to be conscious of that at all in your preparation and in your selection?
That can be a trap, can't it? Because, like I said, you can look ahead beyond your next opponent and take your eye off the ball in terms of focus and respect for your next opponent. So everything's geared towards Wealdstone. When we get over that 90 minutes, we'll obviously then, my staff and myself, will look towards Kings Lynn. But the most important game is always the next one. So we need to try and get 3 points in front of an expectant crowd here tomorrow. Expectant in terms of they expect the way we want to play now with passion for the badge, in terms of intensity in and out of possession, and we want to rain shots on the opposition goal because it's an entertainment business. So we're looking to tick those things off, and I'm sure the result will come.
Is it an important moment, this first league home game then? You know, not just that opportunity that you're talking about there to put on a show for the fans, but for the fans to come in and see your team again.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the gates opened a little bit with 3,000 at Dagenham game. They saw that. It's important that we set a marker down in terms of, because we've got 7 added to the group now, of how we want to play going forward, and it's our first home game, so we're really excited to get going. It's a great occasion for the fans coming back in and it being open gates, and we're looking forward to putting a performance on.
What do you expect from your opponents, Wealdstone?
They try and play in terms of build up from deep areas, short build-ups, but also they can go into the front with some of the recruitment they've made. So they play with variation, but in terms of playing out, they'll try. They've recruited quite a lot in the summer. Some players they had on loan have gone back to their parent clubs as well, so there's been quite a bit of change there. But I'm expecting them to try and come at us early in terms of bouncing back from their home loss to Woking. I'm sure they've got a point to prove, and it's an exciting fixture for them as well because the stadium here, the environment here, is a good one to play your football in front of a crowd as well. So any team coming here, we need to be aware of that. So I'm sure they're going to come and have a right go.
Do you anticipate that teams might start treating Chesterfield or prospects of playing Chesterfield differently as the progress you've made, the start you've made now at the start of this season, that they will see you as, well, it's an opportunity to get a scalp almost?
Yeah, but also if we want to dominate the ball, dominate the territory, the space and the ball, like I always say in my post-match and pre-match interviews, if we can tick those off in most games at home, I would imagine that teams will come up and set up differently here maybe. And they might see getting a point as a good result. But we're not there yet. It's a new season and there's so much excitement around each team. They want to get going, they want points on the board. When it settles down, maybe October, November time, then we can start thinking about, okay, then our team's going to set up differently. But I think in the early stages, no.
Cheers, James. All the best this weekend.
Thank you.
Good morning, James.
Good morning, Liam.
How far away would you say Whittle, Kerr and Carline are before they're sort of 100% ready to start games?
I think one of the three are ready. One of the three they've just mentioned, they're probably ready to have a real impact this with some big minutes this weekend. I think the other two are slowly catching up. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag, really.
What do you think about the prospects of having to play 2 games in 3 days so early on in the season? Is it a bit too much? You know, is there a risk there for injuries, do you think?
No, because I think the National League got it right in terms of there was no Tuesday game. So in previous seasons, you've gone Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Monday on that week with this bank holiday. So to take the Tuesday out, I think is wise. And I think that opens it up then for Saturday, Monday to be acceptable.
And does it also open it up then for lots of squad rotation? I imagine the lineups are going to be very different across the 3 days.
We'll see. We'll see where we are. I'm not, in terms of Monday, it's not even in my line of thinking. It's not on my focus. My focus is purely on Wealdstone. We need to get over that one first and respect who they are, what they're going to come and try and achieve here as well. And our full focus is on those, and we're not looking ahead.
And obviously, you faced Wealdstone at the end of last season here at the Technique 0-0. Are you expecting a similar type of game?
Yes and no, because I guess their management team's still the same and they have the same sort of principles of play, what they're trying to implement there at Wealdstone. But in terms of their change in their squad and the changes we've made and with the crowd in as well, I think it makes for a completely different occasion, and I think that brings a different type of challenge with our supporters behind us here at the Technique.
And do you think the team's better equipped this season to break down teams like Wealdstone who will come and play and sit everyone behind the ball? Do you think the team's better equipped for that this season?
I think if you look at the pattern of recruitment that we've made, we've added some athleticism. We've added different ways of getting in behind opponents. Sometimes that can be 1v1 dribbles, that can be raw pace, that can be technicians. So we've got different ways now of breaking down a block, and hopefully that will stand us in good stead for the season.
And obviously it is the first home game tomorrow. You had a good home record last season, but is it something that you would like to improve even more?
We're always looking to improve. It doesn't matter what your points ratio is or your position in the league. If you're not looking to improve every day, then you're in the wrong business, I'm afraid. So, yeah, we're always looking to improve, whether that be on the training pitch, whether that be our points tally, whether that be our performances in and out of possession. So we're always looking to improve, and we're never going to stand still here while I'm the manager.